The sun hung high in the sky, casting warm rays over the bustling streets of Jericho. It was a typical day, yet unusually vibrant, with crowds swarming, eager to witness the latest happenings in this ancient city. Dust kicked up underfoot as people moved in a throng, their voices mingling in a symphony of chatter, some speaking in excitement, others shouting to be heard over the rumble of noise. And amidst all this movement, a singular figure sat quietly at the edge of the road. It was a man named Bartimaeus, wrapped in tattered rags that barely shielded him from the elements. His eyes were open but blank, sightless. He was utterly blind. Day after day, Bartimaeus sat in this same spot, a fixture of the street, begging for alms, hoping for kindness, and waiting for a change that often felt just out of reach. To most, he was invisible, nothing more than another mournful voice among the multitude. But today was different. Today, the air buzzed with an electric energy. News had spread like wildfire that Jesus of Nazareth, a man known for miracles and healing, was passing through Jericho. The crowd was larger and more restless, and Bartimaeus could feel the anticipation radiating from those around him. It was as if the entire city held its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. He sensed that this was a moment unlike any other, a whisper of hope wrapped in a tangible feeling that surged through the throng. Bartimaeus inhaled deeply, his heart racing as he realized that this might be his only chance. He had heard stories of Jesus, tales of sick being healed, the blind seeing, and the lost finding their way. Swallowing his fear, he steeled himself for action. Gathering all his courage, he called out into the chaos, his voice carrying a desperate urgency, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." At first, the noise drowned him out. People nearby turned, shooting him disapproving glances. Some shouted for him to be quiet, chastising him for making a scene. Yet their reprimands only fueled Bartimaeus' determination. With a heart full of hope and desperation, he shouted even louder, "Son of David, have mercy on me." And then, in an incredible moment that seemed to freeze time, Jesus stopped. The crowd pressed forward, but Jesus stood still, his gaze scanning the multitude until it settled on the blind beggar. The tumult of the surrounding crowd faded as Bartimaeus felt the weight of Jesus' attention. "Call him," Jesus commanded, and a ripple of energy passed through the throng as the people turned to Bartimaeus with renewed excitement. "Take heart," they urged him, their voices suddenly friendly. "He is calling you." Instantly, the tones shifted from judgment to encouragement, a welcome transformation that lifted Bartimaeus' spirits. In a flash of conviction, Bartimaeus dropped his cloak, the only possession that signified his identity as a beggar. Vulnerable and determined, he jumped to his feet, navigating the bustling crowd that had once felt intimidating but now appeared only as a path towards hope. He pushed through with unwavering faith, his heart soaring as he approached Jesus. Finally, he stood before the healer, the man he had sought with such fervor. Then Jesus asked a question that would resonate through the annals of time. "What do you want me to do for you?" Bartimaeus knew the answer without a moment of hesitation. His heart echoed with longing. "Rabbi, I want to see." The words flowed freely from his lips, a declaration filled with both urgency and sincerity. He poured out his desire for restoration, for the return of sight, even as he stood in the presence of the one who could make it happen. Jesus looked at him with compassion, the kind of gaze that saw into the depths of his heart. "Go. Your faith has made you well," he replied. The simplicity of these words carried profound weight. Bartimaeus could feel the goodness behind them, the truth that his faith had opened a door previously sealed shut. And then it happened. Immediately, Bartimaeus felt a rush of light flooding his world. Shapes began to clarify, and the indistinct blur turned into vibrant outlines. He blinked in disbelief, and the sun's rays pierced through the haze of his past. He could see. Light danced around him, and every color, every shape burst forth with breathtaking clarity. The beauty of the world enveloped him, as if he were being reborn into a reality, he had only heard about but never experienced. As he gazed around him, joy flooded his soul. The first face he ever beheld was that of Jesus, full of kindness and love. In that moment, time stood still as a profound realization washed over him. This was not just a healing of sight, but a transformation of his entire existence. Gasps erupted from the people gathered around. As they witnessed this miraculous exchange, joy and disbelief mingled through the crowd. Bartimaeus' heart swelled with gratitude as he locked eyes with Jesus, understanding the depths of what had just transpired. No longer a mere voice lost in the crowd, he had become a living testimony to the power of faith and the compassion of the one who had healed him. In that instant, Bartimaeus felt the shift not just in his sight but in his very identity. No longer would he be merely a beggar sitting on the streets of Jericho. Freed from the shackles of his blindness, he could now truly engage with the world around him. The air smelled crisper, the sounds of life sharper, and the laughter of children, once a distant echo, was now a joyful melody filling the air. As the crowd dispersed, Bartimaeus did not walk away in silence. With renewed vigor and a heart overflowing with gratitude, he began to follow Jesus along the road, proclaiming what had happened to anyone who would listen. He was no longer a beggar. He was a man transformed, and he couldn't contain his joy. "Look what he has done for me," Bartimaeus called to those he passed, the words tumbling out with uncontainable excitement. "I was blind, but now I see. Jesus has healed me." His proclamation echoed among the people, stirring hope in the hearts of many who had witnessed the miracle. Tales of his healing spread through Jericho and beyond, as those who heard felt inspired to believe that they too might experience a touch of grace. Bartimaeus continued to follow Jesus throughout his ministry, learning from him, witnessing miracles, and growing in faith. He became a living testament to the transformative power of Christ, his life forever marked by that incredible day when he dared to shout out amidst the noise, a blind man desperate for sight, who placed his trust in the Son of David. Each day, Bartimaeus reflected on the profound moment when his life changed. The encounter with Jesus served as a powerful reminder that in faith we find our healing. He carried his story into every corner of his life, showing others that being seen, both physically and spiritually, was a gift beyond measure. Years later, as Bartimaeus shared the story of his transformation, it inspired countless others to approach Jesus with their own needs and desires, believing that he cares deeply and is ready to respond. The essence of his journey, an ordinary man, healed and made whole, continues to resonate through time, inspiring hope for those who seek and reminding all that faith has the power to break barriers and illuminate the deepest darkness. Through each encounter, both his own and those of others, the name of Jesus was lifted high, the healer of hearts and eyes alike. Bartimaeus walked not just in newfound sight, but in the breathtaking reality of being forever changed by the power of mercy and love. And so, the streets of Jericho were not merely filled with dust and voices, they were alive with stories of redemption. One blind beggar's pursuit of grace transformed into a beacon of hope for generations to come.